Hey guys. Okay, before I start, I want to not shout out, but I'm just giving a full warning. If you hear any background noises that are like squeaking or a whine or something, don't worry. Two of my 5 dogs just had puppies, so we have 15 puppies that are whining for their mom, basically. So yeah. But today, I am going to show you how to make clay roses. I'm going to show you how I dye mine, how I make them, how basically the starter thing. Also, I'm going to show you a way you can, if your clay is moist or really damp where it's kind of making a whole mess of your hands, how you can make it into a more clay texture so it's not as messy. So let's get on to the video. So with the first thing is your clay. I prefer using an air dry clay just because it dries faster. And with the baking clays that you bake, I found that they don't work as good for the clay roses. So yeah. Okay, for your clay, if it's too damp, get a rag, anything like a cut up blanket, a paper towel, anything that can hold moisture. And what you're going to do is take your clay, put it in, hold it like this, and squeeze. This is kind of going to get all the moisture out. And then it should be a clump like this. Usually what happens to me is moisture will get stuck in like the middle. And so what you will have to do is actually kind of fold it over each other a couple times to get the moisture out and then do it again. Okay, now time for dyeing. This is an important step because dyeing is going to be your color of your... There's many ways you can dye or paint or get the color on your rose. What you could do is make your rose and then paint it after, which that works really good, but you can't get in those tiny crevices that easily. So this is the option I prefer, and I don't use any like clay dyes. I just use a food coloring because it works really good. So here I have all my food colorings. The reason it's in here is I'm actually going to show you. Here's some water, and I'm just going to pour the water in there. The reason I'm doing this is so any food coloring that leaked out on accident gets washed off and my hands don't get dyed. Okay, if this happens, just with the felt that you use to get your clay moisture out, wipe off your food coloring and then you're good. I'm using this bubblegum pink because I find it a really good color. I'm going to take a tiny part out because that is going to be a like stabler for your clay bottom. Okay, now what I'm going to do is kind of fold out my clay, put it down on my surface. I'm going to see if I'm actually going to, right here, and I'm going to add 1 drop of pink food coloring. The reason I say you do 1 drop at a time, just so if you don't like the color comes out, then you can add more, or if you love it, you can keep it, or you can add a white. If you think it's too dark, you can add a white paint to it, or you can just let the clay work in, because the clay, I find, my clay is white, yours might be maybe a different color. Or if you don't feel like this is worth the time, you could just get the colored clay pre-made colored, but I find it much more fun to know that you're actually coloring the clay. And plus, when you're like buying the pre-made clay, it might not come in the color you want. Is that it might be too dark or too light. So I find with this solution, I should say, this method, it's kind of gets the perfect color. It might not look different on the screen, but it's this really light pink color, which I love. So I'm going to keep it this way. Now, there's many ways you can do, but if you've ever heard the saying, it's a cheesy saying for couples, I will love you till the last flower dies. So basically what they usually do is they will get a fake flower and put it in the middle of all the other flowers. Usually the person knows that it's fake, but it's just a cute little method. But yeah. So here I have a popsicle stick, and you'll see why later. So what you're going to do is make a petal. You're going to press the clay till it's like a shape like this, and then roll it up. Okay, then it should start actually looking like a flower middle. You want to keep on doing that till you have the size you want. I'll be right back, and I'll be back once I'm finished because I don't think you want to see the whole process on camera. Okay, so I'm going to show you actually a trick I actually like to use. So you can see the petals are pretty thick, not really thin. And the reason I like thicker petals is because they give off a better look. I actually have a rose mountain. When they're really thin, it comes out like this and not really that pretty, but when they're thicker, it actually looks like a rose, and I just love the way it looks like that. Also, it's for your clay options. So if you have leftover clay once you made a rose and you don't want to make any more, you can either store it till you make more, which I do, but I make like 60 of these a day for not only my friends but my neighbors, or even just my mom, just to tell her that I am thankful for what she does to me. Not what she does to me, but what she does for me, and how I appreciate her. And many might be like, oh, that's sweet of you, but like I've seen people where they are like, well, my mom should do that anyways. I'm like, and they're like in their 20s. I'm like, okay, your mom could have kicked you out by now, if we're being. And so I just know that these can be great gifts, just for not even a special occasion. Just tell somebody you appreciate them, or that you're thankful, or even that they mean something to you. This is just a great thing. If you've seen me when I'm pressing before on the clay pressing idea, where you take like a towel or something to press it and it sucks in the moisture, you might have seen it on the King of Random. They made a clay video, and I'm actually shouting them out. I know it's not the right of me, but this is basically why I came up with the clay roses, because I saw them make clay and I'm like, that looks so cool. And then I looked up more clay stuff, and there were clay stuff, like not clay stuff, but like pottery and stuff. But then I saw this really pretty clay tulip with the clay the King of Random made out of dirt, and I'm like, clay can go so far. And I just love I love these clay roses because they're pretty simple, and you can make them whatever size you want, whatever color you want it. All you need to get is some food coloring, clay, or you can make the clay. Again, King of Random. But yeah. Okay, so I am just getting to the end. I'm just putting on last petals, just kind of to even it out. And then I did mine a little different this time. I did a tactic that I never really done before, and I find it pretty cool. Look how that looks. You see why I like the thicker petals? I feel like the more thick it is, the better it is. So I'm just going to put a petal right over here, and one right there, and then one right there, and then I will be done. For your last petals, don't really worry about the not the consistency, but like the thickness, because I find the thinner you go throughout, it looks really good. It actually looks like a rose, because rose petals actually are pretty, they look pretty thin, but they're actually pretty thick. Like if you've ever held one just by yourself, they're pretty thick and they're pretty durable. This isn't as durable because it is just clay, and once it dries and if you drop it, say, it could break. Where with a clay, and not clay, but with a real rose petal, it won't break. It will just maybe get dirty, but it won't break. So flowers, and okay, my inspiration for this, you might just see this video because you watch my channel, but try actually doing something that you won't like. Even if it's like an animal, you could make this. Like I've seen people where they will take a rose and make an animal out of roses. And so yeah. Okay, but then if you remember, I kept a tiny bit out. And this is to make a leaf. I'm actually not going to color it. When you have certain colors, it looks good. My inspiration for today's video actually was from my favorite movie, Alice in Wonderland. Many of you might have saw it when you were a kid, or maybe heard of it, but not ever seen it. But Alice in Wonderland basically has a scene where they're painting white roses red, and so I thought a pinkish red rose with white leaves for that. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, it will work. Okay, so all you really have to do for the leaf is kind of like push it like this. Okay, and it should look like a little raindrop, and then you can let that dry. Now on to the popsicle stick. This is one of the main things that I find important. What you can do is paint it green, or just have it with like write a person's name on it, and or put I love you or something sweet on the popsicle stick. Put it in the rose, and then when you'll have the quote and a rose saying I love you. Or what I've thought of doing for this year for my school supplies, because I'm still in school, is make one of these, but out of felt kinda, and then put it on the end of my pen so I could have a flower pen or whatever. So yeah, that is how you make clay roses. If you want to try this out, go ahead. It's fun. It's a cheap gift that you can give to your family or someone important in your life. Also, it could just be not even a gift. It could just be a decoration. That was not what I wanted. I'm looking for all my paints. I had paints in here. And this is also because of the theme, Alice in Wonderland. I am going to paint the stick red for the red roses. Red and white. So, I'm going to do like a candy thing. So, bye guys. Hope you liked this video. And if you did, like this video. But if you like my whole channel and any video I make, subscribe and hit the bell down below. So yeah, also comment if you make these, comment if you want to make these, or if you want advice where you can find good clay that do this easy. I'll give you a brand right now, the Crayola air dry clay. I find it works amazing for this craft, and it's just, yeah. And then for the paints, just any acrylic paint that you can find, or even washable. So yeah, have fun making clay roses. Bye guys!